Please everyone be seated. And for the same, I would like to invite on stage Mr. Salil Singhal, Mr. Rajesh Jejurikar, Dr. Danny Kamowitz, Mr. Sanjeev Rai, and Mr. Sanjay Kadaveru. Okay, so hello and namaste. Good morning, one and all. Today, I, Kritika Sharma, your host, would like to welcome you all in this inaugural session of today's discussion about digital pathways in agriculture, integrating advanced technologies in Indian agriculture. It gives me immense pleasure to be present amongst the galaxy of all you intellectuals. So let's have a big round of applause for everyone present over here. Come on. Technology has been a major driver of agricultural growth and played an important role in improving the livelihood opportunities of the farmers in India. From basic farm mechanization to advanced technologies, remote sensing, satellite imaging sensors, unmanned aerial vehicles, drones, Internet of Things, the spectrum of technology solutions for improving efficiency and productivity along the value chain is huge and diversified. The inaugural session will set the stage for the deliberations related to availability of advanced digital technology, the scope of adoption at the farm level, barriers to adoption and scaling up in the Indian scenario. And now for the further proceedings, I would like to invite Ms. Meetu Kapoor, Executive Director, Food and Agriculture at CII, to make the opening remarks.
Thank you. A very good morning. Dr. Danny Kamowitz, Dean, George Weiss Faculty of Life Sciences, Mana Center from the Tel Aviv University. Mr. Rajesh Jejurikar, President and Chief Executive of Farm Equipment and Two-Wheelers, Mahindra & Mahindra. Mr. Salil Singhal, Co-Chair, CII National Council on Agriculture, and Chairman Emeritus PI Industries. Mr. Sanjay Kadaveru, who will be joining us shortly. He's the founder and president of Action for India, working closely with startups as well as with Facebook at this point. And Mr. Sanjeev Rai, founder of and chief chairperson for multiple startups under Billion Innovators, who will be joining us through Skype as well. Colleagues from industry, a very warm welcome also to the delegation that's traveled in from Israel. It's really terrific to have you over here with us, and we've been looking forward to this for quite some time. Friends from media, ladies and gentlemen, really gives me immense pleasure to stand here and welcome you to this conference today. The scope for advancing technology is fast expanding in Indian agriculture. And clearly, with rising demand for food, and more importantly, the thrust to actually focus on this in a sustainable manner, it is clear that technology and innovation will play an increasingly important role. There is, of course, a clear vision to leverage technology for agriculture, whether it be for productivity breakthroughs, things like soil testing, access to weather information, market integration for better price discovery, and of course, income realization for farmers. In the current environment, we've also seen the government launch a spate of initiatives to encourage entrepreneurship, technology, and innovation. Initiatives of Digital India, Startup India, all testament to what we're starting to see happen in the environment around us. With this renewed focus on technology and the focus on creating incentives for young entrepreneurs, there is a lot more that is going to start to emerge in terms of applications of technology to make agriculture more sustainable and profitable for farmers. I'm going to spend a few minutes talking to you about CII's Food and Agriculture Center, the work that we're doing, and really the components of the advanced technology program that we're launching here today. So CII, with its strong backed industry membership and with a dedicated Food and Agriculture Center, has been working extensively in the area of technology and innovation. Over the last 5 years, while the numbers are very small, we worked directly with 30,000 farmers to be able to impact, test, and scale innovation and technology that we're seeing across various fronts. We've also been working with the food business operators and have worked with 20,000 professionals in terms of working towards capacity building. In terms of agri-technology, as part of our effort, we're now in the process of initiating a program on advanced technologies reshaping Indian agriculture. The entire effort is to create a platform for sustained dialogue across different stakeholders, which is absolutely the foundation of what we're trying to do today. The program that we're launching will have two key themes. The first that focuses on innovation and entrepreneurship, and the second that actually looks to integrate global trends in technology. To take the agenda of innovation and entrepreneurship forward, last year CII launched what we call NAVI, a network of agri-startups, venture financiers, and incubators. And this was really a virtual network to be able to get the different players of the system into play. Another interesting piece I want to point out, and I really hope each of you take the time, is the Advanced Technology Pavilion that you will see at the exhibition. We have a lot of innovative startups. We have a lot of very interesting pre-commercial technology that is on display. And I hope you will be able to have a chance to talk with some of these individuals to understand the work they're doing and really see how you could co-partner with them in this journey to be able to scale this technology. I also want to make mention that CII is working towards creating an AgTech incubator, and the idea being to support technology innovation at an early stage, which will help improve productivity, farm efficiency, and farm income. The range of services for the incubator will, of course, include mentorship, networking, shared space, more importantly, access to pilot and demonstration sites, and farmer networks. Finally, something that we're doing for the first time and that we are all really personally very excited about is the Ag Hack that we're running. And this is CII's first agriculture-forced hackathon that's attempting to bring young minds to explore and really test the power of ideas, to see which of these ideas have the potential to address some of the most challenging, pressing challenges that we have confronting Indian agriculture. We've had overwhelming response. We've had over 30 universities participate, including agri-universities, IITs, IIMs, and we're really excited to see what the next 3 to 4 days will unfold in terms of that. Finally, I want to really make a very special mention of our partner country, Israel. Tel Aviv University, Volcani, they've been very close partners working with us over the last few years. And more importantly, the strong contingent of business leaders that has come in as part of the delegation this year. As you can see, we have strong partnerships ahead of us, and I'm hopeful you'll find the next few days really useful. I also want to make special mention and thank Mr. Salil Singhal for actually chairing the technology innovation piece within CII's National Council and to the Mahindra Group in terms of their leadership to be able to support a structure and put this entire program together. So with that, I'd like to invite Mr. Singhal to be able to set more context.
My colleagues on the dais, Rajesh, Danny, Meetu, and a friend we are waiting for. Ladies and gentlemen, my great pleasure to welcome you all on this crisp morning in Chandigarh. I have been at the Agrotech conferences in Chandigarh, I think for the last 10 years. And we have seen biting cold, but this time the weather has been very kind, so keeps us all alive and awake. I am really very pleased to have this opportunity of what Meetu has assigned me to do is to set the context, which I believe is already set. The reason which makes me the most happy to be standing here to chair this is the fact that almost about 2.5 years ago, 2-3 of us in the National Council of Agriculture of CII sat together and said, what is it that we in industry can do without government support? We all the time, whenever we look at any issues, policies, we start talking, well, we need to get this done by the government, we need that change, we need this policy, we need that policy. But I set the tone by saying, I'm sure there are many things we can do without having to look at the government and seek policy changes, legal changes, regulatory framework changes. There are many opportunities. As a matter of fact, many of us have grown in our businesses purely out of our entrepreneurship, our innovative thinking, and our way of doing things, which has given us the results of growth. So why could we not put our brains together, our heads together, and see what could we bring new to the table for agricultural productivity? Needless to mention, our agriculture is at a plateau. Needless to mention that this has to grow with the growing population, changing food habits, and growing prosperity in the rural urban areas. And on top of that, and I think this is a game changer to my mind in some sense, the change in the thinking that we don't have to, it's just not a question of growing productivity, but in fact growing farmers' incomes. Because if the fact remains, and all of us who are connected to agriculture know, that farmers don't make enough money, and if they could help it, they'd probably not be in this business. Which is equally true for all of us. What we do, if we don't make money, what business we do, we'll have to get out or look for some options. Added to all these challenges now is the new challenge that there is an acute shortage of labor in the agriculture sector. A lot of young men who are getting educated are leaving the rural areas, going to the urban areas, looking for white-collar jobs, looking for industrial or services responsibilities, rather than standing behind a plow. So that again adds a tremendous amount of challenges. So we do need to double our production. We need to double their farmers' incomes. And it is my very strong belief that human mind and the human ingenuity is such that it always rises to a major challenge. And I think here is one. And digital technology, to my mind, is going to be the next game changer. From the very elementary starting of the use of and manufacture of things like urea or the insecticides like DDT, to the various changing sophistication, to hybrid varieties, to GMOs, the next game changer to my mind for agriculture lies in ICT, in Internet of Things, in digitalization of agriculture, whatever you call it, but the use of this little computer that can materially change what our farmers are doing and what our farmers are making in terms of monies. Let's be clear. All of us sitting here would completely miserably fail if we were not digitized in some way or the other in what we are doing as responsible employees, workers, owners, whatever you call it. So why should this not have, that empowerment not come to the farmers? We have got to do this. Technology in agriculture has gone so far ahead. You look at precision farming. It cannot work without digitization. That is what provides the decision support system to agriculture and precision farming to maximize the utilization of inputs. So these are some of the things. Look at what has been done in America, in Israel, in countries where they have adopted technology, have taken this technology to a level which has made the farmers very, very sure of their livelihoods. So about time we made a beginning. There is huge value to be gained. My greatest pleasure is that in about almost, Mitu, about 2.5 years of our planning to do something, CII has been able to get together this conference this year, and I hope we can repeat the conference with a little changing context as to where we have progressed in 1 year on this subject. She has already explained to you the variety of people that have come. I'm especially grateful to my friends from Israel, particularly Danny and I, who go back a long time, and I met some of the very eminent people who have been so deeply involved in agriculture there and have the kind of technologies that people in India can use. We have from Greece, the university, which is going to talk to us about the Internet of Things. And I think there is a lot that we can learn. There is a lot that we can absorb. Today I know many of us in the companies are already using digital technology. If nothing else, we are not only using it at our logistics, but many of us are using the mobile telephony to communicate technology, to communicate messages, to communicate disease challenges, weed challenges, and what have we. We now need to sort of structure it properly. We need to put it in a manner that it becomes easily accessible to all. We do hear that our farmers are not educated. How will they use it? But I can assure you, they are the most sagacious lot anywhere in the world. If we cannot send them messages by way of written messages, we can use graphics. I mean, for example, the Japanese are experts in graphic communication. You buy a small product and you see the way they make the graphics of how to use that product. Even if you can't read, you can actually start using that gadget just by following those written instructions, those written graphic designs. So we have to think of innovative ways how we can communicate to them. I'm also very pleased that we have the universities, Indian universities, and some very young, talented and innovative thinking young men and women who are participating in this. And I'm therefore very, very confident and hopeful that this conference will bring together all of us in a manner to set the digitization of agriculture on the path of growth and for its contribution to doubling farmers' incomes. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you very much, Mr. Singhal. First, for allowing us to turn thinking on its head, asking us to take a departure from the way we had been operating, and for continuing to support us in terms of building the program that we have shaped today. It's now my pleasure to invite Mr. Rajesh Jedrikar, President and Chief Executive, Farm Equipment and Two-Wheelers, Mahindra & Mahindra. Mr. Jedrikar serves as the member of the Group Executive Board of Mahindra & Mahindra since 2010. He's also attended the Wharton Advanced Management Program and at UPenn, and holds an MBA from the SPJN Institute. More importantly for us, I think he's been a great supporter and ally and a thinker, allowing us to be able to present to you what we have today. Mr. Jedrikar.
Good morning, all of you, my fellow panelists, Salil, Danny, Meetu. And welcome to Chandigarh, which is the land of Swaraj in some way. Our Swaraj unit, Swaraj tractor unit operates out of Chandigarh. So in some ways, we are happy to host you here in Chandigarh. As I was preparing myself for this talk, I had this funny topic against my name which said special address. So I kind of deciphered from this that Meetu figured that she shouldn't get me to talk about technology. So I decided not to talk about technology and decided to talk instead about what drives technology and what should drive technology. And really from my standpoint, I think what should drive technology is understanding consumers. And what consumers want, believe in, and creating technologies which are relevant to their needs. So what I'm going to talk about is some work that we've been doing over time in understanding consumers, and this talk is focused on the Indian consumer, the Indian farmer. So in a lot of work that we did with consumers, we kind of categorized our customers under three broad insights. And I'm just labeling them for the purpose of this talk as head, heart, and guts. So if you think about the head of the farmer, which is the rational side of the farmer, what is the farmer looking for here? He's looking for productivity which leads to prosperity. Obviously, like Salil just said, the farmer is in this as a business stream and wants the maximum output out of the work that he does. The doubling of the farmer income is a step in that direction. And most of the work that we have been doing in the past has always been focused on what can we do to help improve yield and productivity, and that will continue to be an objective for the future as well. But what we learned very distinctly and came to us as a new insight was the important role that the heart plays in the life of the farmer. And the insights that we were getting was the need for respect and dignity as a very important part of the farmers' lives. As farmers increasingly are moving away from farming to other occupations, and when we talk to farmers and try and understand why they do that, of course, uncertainty of income or the absolute amount of income is one reason, but that's not the only reason. A very strong driver of that is that they feel that people working in, say, government jobs, police, etc., have more respect and dignity. And that manifests itself in many, many different and small ways. When a farmer walks into a dealership of ours and sometimes does not have the margin money to buy the product, that's the margin money for those of you who are outside India, is the initial upfront money that has to be put in before the financing happens, and he does not have adequate amount of the upfront money, how does the dealer salesperson handle or treat that customer? What's the kind of respect that he's able to give the customer in even saying no? And that's really why the respect and dignity of the individual farmer is a very important part of what the farmer wants from us as providers of either services or products. And then the third, of course, is the guts. It's a gutsy business, farming. There are risks on outputs, risks on prices, risks on every possible part of that business model. If we think about being in the manufacturing industry and the kind of risk we have, and you put yourself in the shoes of the farmer, you realize that the kind of risk the farmer is taking several times a year is far higher than the risk that we ever take. So this, in some way, summarizes the concept of head, heart, and guts. And now I want to connect this to saying, hence, what role can technology and digitization play in enabling the needs of the farmer on these three different dimensions? So let me first start with the need for more productivity. A lot is being spoken today around precision farming and how precision farming with all the IoT-related technologies that will come with it, the use of imaging, the use of data analytics, will enable yield and yield improvements to a very significant extent. We at Mahindra are treating this as an area to work on and focus because over the next 20, 30 years, most of the needs of people for food is going to come out of yield improvement rather than land acreage improvement. And technology and digitization will play a very significant role there. We have, in the Indian context, recently launched a telematics offering called DigiSense, which is not a precision farming product, but will help the farmer get much more out of their tractor than they were in the past. The other initiative we are working on, for example, is to help a farmer choose his tractor, and we call it Build Your Own Tractor, based on what his specific need is. So what's his land size, what's the kind of crop, how often is he going to use it? And using technology to help the farmer choose the right combination of tractor to deliver and meet his needs. So these are some examples of how technology can enable meeting the rational need for productivity and prosperity of the farmer. Talk a little bit about the heart and the emotions of the farmer. We've recently launched a tractor rental business called Tringo. Tringo is an extended form of tractor ring karo, which is called for your tractor, of course. We do implements as well. And that really came out of the insight of dignity of the farmer. Of course, tractors are available on rent today in the Indian market, and it's a very, very commonly prevailing practice to rent your tractors, normally out of your neighborhood. But it was, as we learned from our farmers, a very demeaning process, very often needing to beg for it because there was a peak demand, and at that peak demand, tractors were not available. There was discrimination in the way tractors would be made available to the farmer based on caste, economic position, and many other factors. And you could get or not get a tractor depending on that. And we saw the Tringo initiative as a very important initiative to help actually enhance the dignity of the farmer. Because by offering a branded service offering, which is digitally enabled, so there's a call center and there's an app as well, the farmer is able to choose how he wants to order and get a commitment of when he will get his equipment without ever having to beg for it. We've also introduced the concept of tabs. We have 2,000 tabs available in our network to help sell a solution to the farmer. So helping a farmer understand what the right product is and what the right solution is for his needs. For farmers, especially when they're illiterate, the use of a tab is very enabling because you can use videos to bring alive your sales story and your sales ideas. So not only does it communicate very well, but it also gives the farmer a feeling of respect because they feel you're not there just to sell your product to them, but you're there because you care for their well-being. We last year ran a concept called Seed the Rise. And this was the time farmers in India were going through a very difficult time with drought prevailing. To use technology to crowdsource money for projects for farmers. And it was actually targeted more at urban consumers who could then contribute to projects which will help enhance the lives of farmers. So I'm trying to bring alive for you use of technology in ways which can connect with needs of farmers and how digitization can go beyond just the use of high technology for productivity. So when we think and understand what consumers want and what they feel, we can make technology real in their lives. The third area I'd spoken about was guts, which is the risks that farmers take. And availability of information is one of the ways we can help mitigate risk for them. We've recently launched an app called myagriguru.com, which is an information search site. And it's in an early pilot stage, but we see that evolving to become a more holistic search opportunity for farmers, where the various information asymmetry that's there today for them gets merged by being able to use a technologically led app to better understand mandi prices, availability of seeds, the right solution for their farm, and you could even take an image on your phone and send it in to get some advice. But these are early days yet. A critical and very important part of enabling technology for farmers is, of course, how many of them are able to use it and access it. Salil very nicely brought out the example of use of graphics that Japanese companies follow, and we see that intuitively in urban and rural India as well. Though literacy is not high, it's not a barrier to use of smartphones. And every interaction that I do in rural India with farmers, we see, of course, a very high penetration of smartphones now, and that's going to